Hey yo, what it do? Y'all already know we back with another episode of Elevation Talks. Y'all listen, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been tuning in, man. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Y'all don't know, but I started my podcast. Well, I started my Elevation Talks brand about um like 3 years ago at this point. And so I've been dropping gems. I've been doing this for a long time as far as like recording content. And so I recently just got to the point like 2 or 3 years ago where I actually started, working on my podcast. And this year has been the most consistent. The word for the year at Transformation Church this year was focus. And shout out to Mike Todd. Shout out to Transformation Nation. Just shout out to everybody that's just on their journey with God, man, for real. And so I am proud to say that this is my 27th consecutive episode of Elevation Talks this year. Over the last few months, I have been challenging myself to literally show up every week, bring y'all an episode. Because my thing is, I always got something to talk about, right? I always got gems to drop. You feel me? Like, when I tell y'all I live this life, I've been a dream chaser my whole life. I've been a person that's, people have considered like wise. And, people come to me for stuff all the time. So this has literally been my life's journey, man. And so I really enjoy getting on the mic and just walking in purpose and living my life on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I am meant to talk to people and, just help people grow and elevate and, go to the next part of their journey, their purpose, and really step into what they've been called to do. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't take it lightly when y'all take time out of your day, to just sit and tune in and share it and comment and send me emails and ask me questions and so, man, I really do appreciate it, man. Just everybody all over the world, people in Ghana, Poland, Texas, Illinois, North Carolina. Let me pull it back up because every time I look at the analytics of this, it really blows my mind because there are so many people right now that's listening to me. So many of y'all want to start something, want to do something, but feel like it might not be room or space for you. And I just really want to tell you just by, what I'm saying, like me doing my thing, I have really learned that there is room for you and there are people that are waiting on you to execute and show up. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that just because there are so many other people that's already doing this, that there is not room for you. If this is what God has called you to do, God is always going to make room for you to do what he's called you to do. You know what I'm saying? And so, I really do appreciate Louisiana, Washington, Maryland, Virginia, Tennessee, Colorado, Florida, Oregon, Michigan, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Alabama. Come on, y'all, Georgia. When I tell y'all, man, I cannot say thank you enough. It feeds my soul to know that, y'all are getting fed, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest goal at the end of the day. Even if we reach one person, you know what I'm saying? And so to even see my 2025 rap from Spotify, we got the badge of Rising Star. You know what I'm saying? And so when I tell y'all, it amazes me, just the progress that we've made. I'm dropping my 27th episode that I've recorded this year. And last year I only did 9. And so when I tell y'all I literally been in my bag, you know what I'm saying, this season, I've increased Just my writing. I've been writing a lot more, as y'all know. I dropped my book, Finding Your Exit Door, literally last year, December. So December 2024. And now, fast forward to this, like the end of this year, I've written like my 17th article. You know what I'm saying? Published and everything. And so I'm just like, God is just amazing, man. And we really just coming off of Christmas, man. I hope that everybody had an incredible Christmas, man. I got a chance to spend time with my family. Me and my friend cooked Christmas dinner, and it was super dope. And we just all got to be around one another in fellowship, man. Y'all already know it's Jesus' birthday. You know what I'm saying? And so presence, is so important. And I'm not talking about the gifts, right? I'm really talking about like God's presence, man. And just, really just being able to sit back and reflect on what the journey has been like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I want to do this episode, man. I really just want to take the time out just to really talk about my spiritual journey, my relationship with God, and how did I even get to this point? I feel like, honestly, I've always had, like, at first I had a very vague relationship with God. Like, I knew who God was because it's like, I come from, like, a family where like we went to church on Sundays and my grandfather was a deacon. And shout out to my grandfather too, man. He passed away a few years ago, but his birthday was actually on Christmas Eve. So we got to, it was a double celebration for me, man. But he was definitely a man of faith. He was the greatest example of just somebody that was like walking by faith and just trusting God. And just my granddad was super, super dope, man. And I always enjoy telling this story because it's just like, it puts a smile on my face. But one of the last things that my granddad told me, man, it was literally the last year that we got to spend the holidays with him before he passed away. And he said, Ebony, thank you for always making the holidays feel like the holidays. And, I really feel like, I think my granddad was I think he was in his late 70s or early 80s when he passed away. But I was just like, man, that is such an honor. That is such a compliment coming from like your elder, you know what I'm saying? And he loved my banana pudding. I don't know if y'all know, but I get busy in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like I just, it's really funny because you know how people be like, they have like a praying grandmother. I definitely had a praying grandfather, you know what I'm saying? And I've been like I was saying, I grew up essentially like going to church. Like we used to go to vacation Bible study and all of that. And so that's what I'm saying. Like I knew God, but I didn't like know him how I know him today. You know what I'm saying? And so I know for a fact, like I've just always had a surface level relationship with God until about 10 years ago when I was going through like just this incredible hardship of a relationship. And, I would always hear people who had been in relationships for a long time like, yo, you're going to go through things that, that's going to try you. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, y'all, you're going to go through it. And so I was noticed that there are some people in, relationships where it's like one person like prays super heavy. They got a relationship with God and then maybe the other person don't. And so I had made a decision like, shoot, me and my girl at the time was going through something. And man, I ain't going to hold you. Like, I just started praying. You know what I'm saying? I started, we found a church online to go to, which was Transformation Church. Shout out to my homegirl, Imani. I was talking to her one day and she was like telling me like, yo, I think you'll like this guy named Pastor Mike. woo woo woo. And so, like, literally, I had cut some sermons on and just started checking him out. And it was good. Like, we ended up getting baptized at some point. Like, then this was my second time getting baptized. Like, I was baptized as a kid, but I wanted to get rebaptized as an adult because it's like I'm making the decision to do so. And I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, like, I felt like during that time, that's when I really started to, really begin to have a super personal relationship with God. And, over time, it got to the point where, like, I remember when my grandfather passed away, man. I remember asking this question out loud, and I was like, yo, I said, Lord, who gonna pray for me now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know if ain't nobody else praying for me, my granddad then said a prayer for me. And so it's crazy because I feel like when I had asked that question, I feel like maybe not even a week later, man, one day I was sitting on the couch. This is when I was a teacher. I was sitting on the couch. I was getting ready for work, and out of nowhere, y'all have heard this story, but just act like you ain't heard it. But out of nowhere, man, I just started bawling. Like, I just started crying, and I was just like, it was like God was showing me like flashbacks of when my grandfather just kept showing up. And so I'm sitting there bawling. I'm like, he just kept showing up. He just kept showing up. And so I remember my ex-girl, my girl at the time, she was like, she had hit the corner and she was like, are you talking about your granddad or are you talking about God? And I said, see, that's the thing. It sounds like I'm talking about my granddad, but I'm really talking about God. He was using my granddad to show up. Y'all, there would be times when I was a kid where, like, I didn't have a cell phone and stuff like that. But, like, right before, like, stuff was about to get wild, my grandfather would randomly show up and be like, Ebony, do you want to ride down to the house with me? And I'd be like, yes, and I'll go. And so it was just like, I didn't call him. I didn't have a cell phone to call him. Like, it's just like God literally, like, always knew when to send him. You feel me? And so literally he would always only ask me, did I want to go back to the house with him and, sit at the house with him and my grandma. You feel me? So it's just really, when I was having that encounter, man, that's when I really started realizing, like, yo, God been showing up the whole time. He been walking with me. Like, it was really like a light bulb moment that was just like, yo, you really been here the whole time. And so it's like, since that moment, that was like probably, I think like maybe 4 or 5 years ago when that particular moment happened. And literally, man, since then, I feel like every year I always ask God the question of how am I going to level up my relationship with you this year? I feel like I know you. And it's just like what I've been learning is you don't, it's like you'll never fully know. You know what I'm saying? Like, my relationship just continues to increase. Like, even like now recently, I've been just kind of thinking about, as we get ready to head into the new year, and I'm, already asking myself this question now, I realized that, like, I've recently just been trying to, like, come out of a place of survival mode. And I also realized that that's where my faith has been too, just always like, bracing yourself, like, what's next? What can I learn? What am I supposed to be doing? And it's like, I've been learning that rest is something that you don't have to earn. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already know, like, I come from the early 90s, right? I come from the era of no days off. You feel me? So it's like we have been taught to, move through the world like ain't no days off. Like, you rest when you die. You sleep when you die, like things like that. And it's just like, yo, that's actually hustle culture. And hustle culture actually keeps you in survival mode. But a lot of us don't actually recognize that. You know what I'm saying? It come off like if we do more, we'll have more. And it's just like, actually, Actually, if I increase my relationship with God, and this is what I've been learning, if I sit and actually just spend time with God and, you know what I'm saying, just really come raw, come real, and just like be present with Him and like just be intentional, like with just having a very personable relationship with Him, He will speed the process up in a way that you will pass people who that's been grinding nonstop. And it's almost like you skipped the line. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like literally, man, my encounters with God have just been so just everyone has been different. And one of the things that I love about God, He'll meet you exactly where you are. And I think that's so dope because it don't matter where we at. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you strung out. It don't matter if you laid up. It don't matter where you at and what you got going on. God will literally meet you right there. And it won't even be a judgment situation. You know what I'm saying? And when there are a lot of religious people who like they try to make it seem like in order for you to come and, be able to worship with them or, come to church or do whatever, like, you got to clean yourself up. And it's just like, God don't operate like that. And, it's actually a lot of religious and church people that actually make a lot of people who might be curious about a relationship with God, it puts them in a place where it's like, you know what, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that's why for me, even with my sexuality and everything, I remember God telling me one day I was riding in the car, and this was around the time I was doing a church tour. And when I say church tour, I was basically just trying to find an in-person church that I can go to because I still watch Transformation Church and stuff online, but I really wanted to be around community and stuff like that. So I was just dating, in terms of churches, like just trying to figure out what's the best space for me. And so I remember during this time, man, I was riding in my car and God was like, yo, you don't talk about me enough. And I'm like, Lord, what you mean? Like, I talk about you all the time. I love this story, man. It's so funny, man. But he like, nah, like you talk about me amongst your family and friends and stuff, but like on your platforms and stuff, you don't really be talking about me. It's like you talk about me in private, but you don't talk about me in public. And I was just like, man, Lord, what you mean? And so he's like, yeah, you're going to be an author and a speaker. And I'm like, man, me? Lord, I barely speak proper English. Like, come on, get somebody else to do it. Like that, you can't be serious. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an author. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a writer. And so as I was saying, just basically laying out all the reasons why I wasn't qualified, he started showing me why I was qualified. And so I was just like, Lord, and he's like, yeah, like tell the people what I've done for you. Like tell the people what I do. Like, talk to them about me. Tell them your stories. And so I'm just like, Lord, man, like, my sexuality, like they gonna come for me. Like they gonna kill me. And he was like, well, I died for you. And I'm telling y'all, when I heard that, it got quiet in the car. I didn't even say another word because what do you say to that? What do you say when God is giving you an assignment and you like, I can't do it because they're going to kill me. And he like, yeah, but I died for you. Now what? I've already walked through what you're talking about. So now what? And it's just like, hey, I can't even say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so literally, I've been on this journey, like just executing. And I remember when I had this like super dope job, I was working with a company as a film producer. And literally, like the job started getting heavy and I had came to God and I told him, I said, Lord, look, I don't have time to do what you told me to do. Y'all, when I tell y'all this man laid me off like 2 weeks later, listen. This was the first time I had ever experienced a layoff in my life. When I tell y'all any job that I've ever left, I have always had, and I ain't even gonna say, except when I was a teacher. When I stopped teaching and I had to go through I was going through my divorce, literally God gave me that time to grieve, which was so crazy. But outside of that, I have always had another job lined up before I left a job. Like, that's what I was taught. Don't leave one job without having another job lined up. And so I had never experienced a layoff. Like, I've never been fired, none of that. And so it was such a crazy time because I was getting ready to move. But it was just like, it was God's way of saying, okay, now you have time to do what I told you to do. And I had never, like, it's mind blowing as I continue to just grow my faith and have a relationship with God. It is mind blowing to me how God actually moves. You know what I'm saying? Even the fact that he stands outside of time and he is so intentional. Like, just, it's like I feel like every day I just feel like I notice more and more how intentional he is. And so it's just, I don't know, like even right now, recently I just finished my NASDAQ cohort with the milestone program. And I'm about to tell y'all, I ain't really told nobody, but y'all can catch me and my picture on the NASDAQ tower in Times Square this coming up January, man. I'm excited. I exceeded in the program, and I also met two really dope people. I got two new good friends, man, and we all like just in our own valley season in a different way. And one of the things that I absolutely love is like we can talk about God. It's like we could be girlfriends amongst each other, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even consider myself a girlfriend, but it's like with them, I just really feel like I found purposeful friends, and I'm just like, God set this up. You feel me? Like we be talking, like we have a group chat, and like we'll be just telling each other like different stories and stuff. And we start realizing, yo, God really set this up. Like this is so wild. And I mean, like I really feel like I found some really dope like ladies to do life with, you feel me? And so shout out to Jacqueline, shout out to Christina. They got their own businesses, their own brands, and I'm gonna have them on my show at some point. Y'all already know I gotta do that, you feel me? Because we going up together. It's the big three, you hear me? So but yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, man, like it's just been really crazy. And you know, with Jesus' birthday passing recently with Christmas, I want to answer a few questions that people have been emailing me. Yo, if you got questions about faith, relationships, dream chasing, execution, whatever, definitely don't hesitate to email me. Whatever questions I get, I try to like remember to answer a few questions each episode. So definitely I either do it in the episode or I'll just make a separate video and post it on social media depending on, you know, what the questions are. But definitely email me at elevationtalks at gmail.com. And also don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. Head over to elevationtalks.com. All right. But we're going to jump into some of these questions, man. Let me see here. Boom, boom, boom. It says, what does trusting God look like when you are tired from being strong? Yo, this is a really great question because I feel like with me, I've been in a valley season like for a few years now. And I'm not going to say that it hasn't been like, you know, it's just been all lows. Like, nah, like there's actually been like ebb and flow, right? And so one of the things that like I started realizing is that tiredness started leading me to recognizing that I was doing faith a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like when I come to God, everything feel urgent. Like, Lord, these bills are piling up. Lord, when is it going to happen? When is the breakthrough coming? This, that, and the third. And it's like, I'm always just coming to him, you know, just looking at the glass half empty versus half full, you know? And so what it looks like trusting God when you're tired of being strong, is just breathing. One of the things that I'm currently learning is rest. Like resting in God's presence, like resting with, like trusting his provisions. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, when I start focusing on the circumstances or just the different things that are dragging me and making me tired, it makes me realize that I've actually taken my eyes off of God. Y'all know, like that scene in the Bible where it's like, as Peter is walking on water towards God, at some point he starts to like shake and tremble, and he's like, it's slipping, and it's just like, it's because he took his eyes off of God. And so what I realize is, the whole idea of you taking your eyes off of God, you're also taking off the fact that he's made a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not focusing on how he's already made a way. You know what I'm saying? You're not focusing on how he's already doing a new thing. At least for me, I was focusing on the hurt. I was replaying the trauma, and just, I was still holding on to the baggage that came with different situations. And I started realizing, like, you can make a choice to let that stuff go and just focus on the positive stuff from that. Like, what did you gain from that experience, though? You know what I'm saying? How has that experience impacted you in a positive way versus, like, you keep replaying the situation and focusing on the negative part of it? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I literally just had to start just spend, as I'm coming to God raw and real during my intentional time, and even just daily, like, I talk to God throughout the day. Like, I don't just limit it to, when I wake up in the morning and I have my intentional time. Like, I might be talking to him about something like earlier during my intentional time, and I'll pick up the conversation later on in the day. Like, it just depends on, like, what's happening. But yeah, that's one thing that I'll say, like, trusting God, like, when you're tired of being strong, it just looks like breathing, man. It just looks like rest. It just looks like just you got this, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Just and figuring out, like, how to go and just do something that will bring you joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll take your mind off of the pressure and just, go watch a movie, go spend time with family and friends, go do something, garden, whatever it is that you're into, go do something that will ease your mind. And I'm not saying run to a substance, because I did that too. You know what I'm saying? I used to eat edibles all the time. And I started realizing that I was getting addicted. But that's another story for another episode. You hear me? But yeah, I'll answer 2 more questions and then I'll wrap this up. But let me see. What's something that you had to unlearn about faith? Okay. That's a good question. I feel like one of the things that I had to unlearn about faith is that you can show up raw. Like I was telling y'all earlier. So I feel like in the church / religious community, I feel like there are so many people that make you feel like you got to show up a certain way in order to have a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Or to even say that I believe in God, or, just whatever. And people will make you feel like, your sexuality or your habits or your this or that, whatever baggage you're coming with, that you are not good enough to have a relationship with God or know God. And it's just like, yo, that's not true. Like, if you actually spend time reading the Bible and even like looking at the stories of the different people that's in the Bible, you will see a lot of these people was crazy. A lot of these people was jacked up. A lot of people's situations and circumstances was like, yo, this some wild stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like God still used them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like, the thing about the Bible is I just feel like it is a reference that you can stand on that'll help you get through today's life. You feel me? Like, when God was having that talk with me in the car, and I was having that moment of like, Lord, my sexuality, like, they gonna kill me. Like, so many people approach me today like, oh, you know, God don't like, homosexuality or this or that, woo woo woo. Like, it's such a thing, and it's like, okay, cool, I understand what you're saying, but I'm like, when I read the Bible though, the way they talking about homosexuality, this not how I'm experiencing my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't forcing myself on nobody. I don't like, children. I ain't, This ain't, are we talking about the same thing? And I start really understanding that people start, they perceive it how they perceive it. And so it's just like, listen, y'all can hate me, y'all can feel some type of way, but God still loves me. God still chooses me. God still uses me. And I've already told him, and he knows this, whatever he want to take from me, he don't have no problem taking it. Because I'm like, I've been through other things that God, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, he took it from me. He made me not have a taste for these things. And so it's like, my sexuality is no different. You know what I'm saying? If God want to change that, he already know I'm like this. I'm just living my life. I'm doing what you call me to do, and I'm doing my life the best way I know I can. As things start to transition in life, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people really, they just kind of want you to already come cleaned up, and it's just like that's not what God wants. God literally wants you, if you feeling like you lost, God want to find you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he want to have a relationship with you. And it's just like, he already knows you. And that's the part that I feel like church people don't talk about for real. If the words say that God already knew me and had plans for me way before I even got in my mother's womb, nothing that I'm doing in life surprises him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm having to walk through it. And everybody is on a different path and different journey. And so it's just like, that's why I don't consume myself with what people are saying and, what this person are thinking, and, I can't go hang out with the cool people, or, yeah, hey, listen, if you don't rock with me because of this, because of that, listen, I still love you. I wish you well on your journey, and shoot, still run it up per usual, because that's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel like I had to, unlearn about faith. Like, you got to be ready to build your own relationship and not, just kind of get, I guess, kind of fixated on how somebody else's belief system work and all of that. Like, go and have your own relationship with God, talk to him, and, just allow him to change you from the inside out, and whatever that transformation looks like is what it's going to be. But in the meantime, between time, yeah, So I would do one more. Ooh, yes. Boom. This is a great one. How has your relationship with Jesus changed over the last few years? Man, I feel like I told you, I've been on this journey, like, wholeheartedly, like, for real, for the last 10 years. And so I see the growth in terms of like 10 years ago, I just started talking about God. I just started, watching sermons. Instead of like hanging out, I might watch a sermon. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like listening to this, I might listen to a gospel song. Like, I just started slowly seeing myself like understanding, and now fast forward, I spend a lot of time with God. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I went from like a baby Christian to like, I consider myself one of God hitters. Like, we definitely up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my Bible in one hand and I got my knife in the other. What's up? What we doing? I got my boots on. You hear me? Like, what's up? What we got to do? You know what I mean? And so, I feel like I'm definitely a soldier for the Lord. Yo, I'm a soldier for the Lord, man. But nah, I was telling my friends recently, man. I was like, yo, I remember when I was younger, I would see so many elderly people like always just, oh, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And I'd be like, man, that's all they do is talk about God, like golly. And so it's funny because here I am as a 34-year-old woman, and it's like, man, you better know it. Before we get done having a conversation, God is going to be mentioned. And I laugh at it because it's like, it's almost like I've turned into one of those old church women that I used to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's like, I'm not a Bible thumper, but it's like, yo, I gotta, like, if you talking to me, I'm going to end up telling you something about God, something about an encounter. Cause it's like, that's what my life consists of now. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you've been called and you've been chosen, like, I feel like, you know, you experiencing things daily. You feel me? And so literally, it's just, you know, it's always something to talk about. That's why I'm just like, that's what I was telling y'all earlier. Man, I always got stories. I always got something to talk about. Like, life always moving. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how, like, I don't know, like, my relationship with God changes like often. And I just feel like as I'm growing and just even understanding more of who I am, my relationship with him is growing. Like, even down to like romantic relationships, I actually been realizing, I've been saying this a lot recently, it is really important for you to spend time with God, because what you'll start learning is before you can have a good relationship with anybody, you have to learn how to have a good relationship with self. And part of having a good relationship with self is having an extreme amount of self-love. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you start building that self-love when you start spending more time with God, or at least that's what happened for me. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I didn't hear people talk about self-love and all of that. Like, and I didn't hear that for a long time until like within the last 10 years or so, right? And so literally I started recognizing that a lot of my hardships, especially when it came to like relationships and jobs and different things, is like that is because like my self-worth, my self-love was low. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when I started reading, you know, and understanding and just seeing that the way God sees me, it's like, yo, I need to be loved like that. Like, I need to, my relationships on earth need to, you know what I'm saying, match that energy. And so that's one of the things that I've been learning, like, yo, been doing this wrong. Like, so, but that's another conversation for another day, man. But I pray that this episode has fed you in some type of way. And I want to hear about how your relationship with God has changed your life. You know what I'm saying? What do you notice about yourself that maybe you didn't notice a few years ago, you know? And so until next time, man, y'all continue to set it up and run it up per usual. Make sure that you taking the time out to write your goals. 2026 is literally around the corner. And so, yeah, definitely spend time writing down your goals, man. And don't spend so much time writing down like things like outwardly. You know what I'm saying? Write about things that are like internal as well, like that you can, that can be a goal and you can work on. Like for me, I've already been kind of just writing this stuff down, and I'm going to spend some more time. And that's what the next episode will be. We'll do like a recap of 2025, and we'll talk about, the goals and stuff moving forward. But yeah, one of my goals is to really have a deeper relationship with myself. I feel like because I am the common denominator when it comes to a lot of the different things that life has been, I don't know if I trust myself the way I want to in terms of this version of me that I have to grow into in order to go to the next level. So I definitely want to spend time like really learning how to trust myself and rest. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel like I have to perform and I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just some things that I definitely want to personally like take charge. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to be thinking about this. Like I said, we'll dive more into this in the next week. But yeah, man, until then, set it up and run it up per usual. Y'all already know. If y'all ain't got a copy of Finding Your Exit Door, go get that. It's at Barnes and Nobles. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. Head over to elevationtalks.com. Hit me on IG, TikTok, YouTube, wherever. Just look me up, man. Nate Liggins or Nate the Gem Dropper. I'm going to pop up either way. So I'm going to get up with y'all, man.